JEM is my name, no one else is the same. JEM is my name. JEM.
I forgot to mention in the last episode, but, new theme song. Me and my friends are JEM girls. JEM is my name. I like the first one better. This one feels like someone else wrote it. Another thing that isn't quite working is there's no Misfits interlude, so it uses most of the same video. The opening sequence is mostly the same, but they had to cut out the Misfits sequence because there's no Misfits interlude. So they cut in some scenes just from random episodes. Like there's a quick clip from Broadway Magic, there's one from Island of Deception, and it doesn't flow, it doesn't work, the video doesn't fit the new song. Jetta, of course, isn't there because the Misfits aren't. Rhea isn't there. I'm wondering if this is a placeholder until they finish a new title sequence. Or maybe they go with this for the rest of the season. I don't know. I mean, it's not a horrible song, but it feels out of place. Maybe it'll grow on me, but yeah, not caring for it. So, this episode... Oh boy, this episode. So, Father's Day is coming up. And JEM and the Holograms shoot a new video with Video, the video person. And they're like, oh, you've helped us shoot all our videos. How can we ever repair? She's like, do you have any ideas for something I could do for Dad's Day? And I'm like, well, we could write a song for your dad and perform it. And that'd be good. And she'd, oh, that'd be great. Because we have this like Father's Day banquet thing we do back in my hometown of Mulberry. So okay, Kimber, get on your bike and write a song, and we'll do that. Well, Kimber is still not really handling the loss of her father very well. So she doesn't wanna, because it brings up painful memories. And she doesn't wanna. Meanwhile, perhaps surprisingly, Pizzazz is in her dad's office asking if he wants anything for Father's Day. And he just is like, I don't care.
Now, if you want to buy me something fine, just don't make it too expensive. After all, it is my money.
Ouch. Pizzazz is a grade A jerk. But you can see why she is the way she is. And while I don't excuse any of her bad behavior, I do genuinely feel for the woman, She's actually, and this is not the first time, she actually is trying to make a connection with her father, and he just does not care. So she storms out, and the Misfits and Clash are lounging around. And if you recall, Clash is Video's cousin. So she says, hey, let's go to Mulberry where my dad's having a Dad's Day banquet thing. Okay, so they go out there, and Video's out there already trying to... she's making the big video that's going to be cut together for her Dad's Day present, and Clash shows up with the Misfits, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, I mean, you talk about JEM and the Holograms all the time, but Clash actually knows the Misfits, because there they are! Sign my chest, Pizzazz! Well, she signed someone's forearm, but, same general idea. We also learn that Clash's dad is a jerk, which also kind of explains why his daughter's a jerk too. Apples don't fall too far from their trees. We also see some home videos of a lot of these characters, and we learned that Clash's natural hair color is indeed purple. unless they started dyeing that kid's hair when she was an infant. The red and green she was sporting through most of last season, that was dye. She's going natural, so she, like Rio, has natural purple hair. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about Clash without pants. I'm thinking about Rio and Clash standing next to each other with no pants. Ugh. Okay, so, natural hair color is scary. So, Kimber doesn't want to do it because she's still having trouble facing the fact that Dad's gone. And they actually show what Mr. Benton looks like. In a previous episode, they did that thing where, oh, there's a memory of my dad, but he's standing in shadow because we haven't actually designed the character yet. But now we get to see what he looks like. So they take her horseback riding. And thinking that... you know, because they used to do that as kids, I guess. So she's like, oh, it's my old horse, Lucky. Let's get on the horse. And they ride, and like, you feeling better, Kimber? You want to write the song? Because we kind of told Video we would. And she's like, no, I don't want to, and you can't make me. Giddy up, Lucky. And she goes towards, I'm not sure. Is that a cliff? Is she going to head off a cliff and take Lucky with her? Is that a matte painting that she's galloping towards? I'm really not sure, but Lucky is having none of it and throws her off. So she hits her head and gets knocked out. And who should be riding by but Pizzazz's daddy? Which was set up because he says, look, I don't have time for this Father's Day crap. I gotta see a man about a horse. And there he is. Kimber's okay. She doesn't die. She doesn't have a concussion or anything. She just got knocked silly. I'm sure Lucky's okay, and not turned into glue. And so she actually talks with Pizzazz's dad about stuff, and it's revealed that Pizzazz's mom walked out on them when she was younger, and a combination of her mom walking out on them and her dad just being very bad at being a dad really explains why Pizzazz is the way she is. So they bond, and Kimber says, okay, I can write the song now. So she's in the horse stable house. Pizzazz's dad's sitting on the couch reading a newspaper, and she's sitting at a desk writing the lyrics, and she goes, I'm done, and the camera zooms in on her lyrics, and, you're always in my heart, you're always in my heart, and she finishes with the end. Like, what? Who the hell stops their lyric? I'm not a lyricist. I can arrange music. I can't write it worth a damn, and I don't generally write lyrics either. But I don't know anyone who has ever composed lyrics for a melody and then finished it with the end. You're always there in my heart. The end. What? No, the end. Was that in the storyboards? Why did they do that? That's so weird. Whatever. So she writes a song, and Jarek, I wrote the song and it's done, and Jarek says, great, or Shayna, whoever it was, they're like, great, but, there's no flights to Mulberry left. So Pizzazz's daddy calls in a favor and flies them there on a Concorde. So the holograms show up to the Father's Day barbecue in Mulberry, in the Concorde, which lands in front of the barn where it's being held, which luckily has a gigantic road in front of it that they can land on, so that's lucky. And they come off of the plane, and JEM is, I'm JEM! And she walks off the plane, and then holograms follow her, followed by Kimber walking arm in arm with Pizzazz's daddy. And Pizzazz is like, what? What the hell, Dad? What? You're consorting with the enemy! And her father says, I don't have to explain myself to you. And she says, fine, don't. And she storms off. And he goes, oh, she's impossible. I'm like, oh, man, you're so bad at this. So the Holograms perform the Father's Day song. And Video and her dad are like, oh, this is nice. And Clash and her dad are like, oh, this is nice. And the whole thing with Pizzazz and her dad, it's not resolved. Episode just ends. I mean, you might think, especially because, you know, children's show, that Pizzazz and her dad will reconcile through the power of love and music. No. No. No.
Come on, Clash. Nobody's father adores them.
How's my favorite daughter?
Daddy, I'm your only daughter.
He really does adore her.